Thank you. Thank you all for coming. I'm super excited to see you all. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm excited about the workshop that's coming up. And it's called Elemental Empowerment, Crafting Wholeness Through Astrological Creativity. And we're going to be playing with art and elements and all kinds of fun stuff. I'm really excited about it. So, so because for me, understanding the elements of us in astrology, like within astrology, that's really everything. That's like the biggest thing. I'll talk a little bit more about that here coming up, but I want to talk about the importance of connecting with nature's elements and astrology for personal growth. So astrology is a nature-based tool, right? It's kind of clicked in with the patterns. I like to think of astrology like as if it's like a weather report. Um, but yeah, it examines the patterns that serve to animate our lives, and it's the very foundation of astrology is rooted in the nature's elements. The most important thing that you can possibly do to understand the way that the planet functions, or the way a planet, not the planet, not this planet that we're on right now, but the planets. You know how when you look at your chart and you've got the little glyphs and things, and they all kind of like indicate a planet's place, a planetary placement. So in order to understand that the way that those planets operate in your chart, you need to first understand the element that that planet is sitting in. And so it's really, really important to study the elements for that reason. So that way you can say, okay, what would Mars in a watery sign feel like? And it's going to feel a whole lot different than a Mars in like an air sign. I just said water, so I wasn't going to say that again. So, but yeah, so always consider what element that each planet is in. And so we're going to go much deeper into this during the workshop. But and I'm also going to ask that everybody bring their chart, and we're going to like look at all of the elements that are represented in each chart so that we can really dive into it. But we're going to highlight how these elements can influence creativity, relationships, and self-awareness. So, for example, fire. Fire brings the intuitive spark that's needed for creativity. Air. Air brings ideas and understanding of all of the possibilities. If you want to get like a bird's eye view of what can possibly happen, you're going to be working with the air element. When it comes to water, water brings the flow and it activates the emotional realm. Whenever we're dealing with water, we're dealing with the emotions, we're dealing with the moon. The moon is tied with Cancer. And so we're going to be, it's really important to be tapping into those emotions uh, for creativity's sake. And then the earth element. The earth element finally is probably one of the most important elements when creating, since it requires that we physically put a pen, a pencil, paint, clay, whatever to paper. In dance, it's doing this animation with the physical body. So it's putting things into a formed process. It's the forming process rather. And so I was thinking about this DSM project that I'm currently working on. I was taking a psychopathology class, and we were invited, since I'm working on my master's program for art therapy. And so yeah, I've been in this psychopathology class, and of course I had my reservations about the class. I was like, I don't believe in the DSM, and I'm so angry. And come to find out, most people feel the same way as I do. So that was a relief. But the DSM, that's the Diagnostic and Statistics Manual that has like all of the mental disorders in there. I have very strong personal feelings about that. But um, we were invited in the class to create something that depicted our process and how we changed throughout the class. And I just happened to be taking a painting class at the same time, where we're required to do a polyptych project with. So it's a big, big, big project made up of little tiny itty bitty projects. And so I'll show you a piece right here. All right. So, and I was just thinking, I had the air, I received the instructions, I received all of the information that I needed. I'm taking a class in psychopathology and I'm studying the DSM. I was receiving a ton of intellectual, like mind information that eventually the fire kicked in for me. And this is tied to that creative spark that we need in order to make, creativity happen. I felt like I must create this. I must, and I decided that what I would do is I would create, like I would illustrate the diagnostic statistics manual. And here is one of the pieces, one of the 20 pieces that I have for this. But it was super fun to just do this little part. I have only 3 completed. I'm looking forward to having it all done, but yeah, it's been super fun putting it together. But water came in, the water element. I connected with the water element and have been connecting with the water element as I've been allowing myself to dive into this emotional realm to feel what every single one of those diagnoses would feel like from the inside, and experiencing what it must be like in our society living with those diagnoses. And then finally, the earth element comes in when I'm, putting the mediums on the wood and I'm getting the paint on there and I'm playing with all of these different things. I've got little gears on here that, so that's pretty fun. But yeah, so I had to be able to craft with each one of the elements in order to make this happen. And so for the workshop, we're going to be talking about all of the elements. I was going to kind of like give a sneak peek over the next couple of days, and instead I decided, no, I'm just going to do this one instead of calling everybody back here every single day. This is what I'm going to say about it. Earth. We're talking about grounding, and we're talking about the nurturing aspect of Earth and how you're going to learn to harness this energy for stability and for growth. And we're going to explore that through art. And next we have air. We're going to talk about the communicative and the intellectual energy of air and how it can enhance your ability to express and to connect. For with the fire element, we're going to really just kind of like touch on the passion and the dynamic drive of fire and how this can be channeled into creative endeavors and life ambitions. We might talk a little bit about each zodiac sign and the zodiac signs and their ties to the elements as well. And finally, water. I'm going to get into the emotional and intuitive nature of water and how understanding this can deepen personal relationships and your own personal self-reflection. And so what you're going to gain from actually attending this workshop is a deepened self-awareness. So first off, one of the most exciting things that you're going to gain is a deeper understanding of yourself. We're going to dive into the astrological and elemental, your own personal elemental blueprint, uncovering how these cosmic and natural forces correspond with who you have come to know yourself to be. I subscribe to the belief that astrology doesn't make things happen. The planets don't make things happen. They just kind of like can point to, hey, this is just kind of the energetic in the air. So yeah, I very much do not believe that a planet is going to force something to happen to somebody. So yeah, that's a little disclaimer there. So next, we're gonna unlock your creative potential like never before. Each of us has a wellspring of creativity within us that's influenced by our emotional or our elemental makeup. And in this workshop in elemental empowerment, we're going to explore how to tap into this energy, and we're going to move past blocks and into a space where your creativity flows freely with the water element and vibrantly like fire. It's not about just making art, it's about living creatively in all aspects of life. And finally, But equally important is the elemental transformation that you're going to experience just throughout the 2 hours that we're together. I'm going to guide you in balancing and embracing the emotional qualities of your elements, leading to greater emotional intelligence and harmony. So, no more feeling at the mercy of unexplained moods or reactions. Instead, you're just going to be able to navigate your emotions with understanding and with grace. So, and not to mention, we're going to have fun. It's going to be a little community. We're going to be doing art together. I love co-creating together. So I think that that's going to be super fun. Um, so yeah, if this all resonates with you, then elemental empowerment is where you need to be. It's going to be super fun. We're gathering on Thursday, March 28th at 4:30 p.m. Mountain Time. It's 3:30 p.m. Pacific, 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern. This is all p.m. I'm not getting up that early in the morning, and I would love for you to join us. The space is limited because we want for the experience to be intimate. I want to be able to talk about your charts and things. So yeah, don't wait too long. I will be recording it. I will likely be cutting out anything that's super personal. So, but yet it's very interesting to be there and kind of be a fly on the wall and like gather information as we do have sensitive information that's going to be discussed. So we want to make sure that everybody's needs are respected. So I'm going to be dropping a link below. So if you haven't signed up yet, you can do that. And there's going to be a little worksheet to work with, and come with your chart if you have it. This is a little bit of a sneak peek into an offering that I'm going to be putting together here in the very near future. I'm super excited about that as well. And you're going to hear all about that at the workshop as too. So yeah, does anybody have any questions? Oh, Joanna says the sun coming through your window is beautiful and illuminating you. It left. What does it mean, Joanna? It just left me. But yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, I love the way it does come in this time of day, and it just kind of fell behind the clouds, or maybe behind my awning out there. Um, yeah. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach out to me via email. You can drop them down below in the comments. That sounds good too. Um, yeah. So just to recap really quickly, astrology, it's nature based. More than anything, it's nature based. It is very much go with the flow. Yeah, so that's where I'm like, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Its foundation is in the elements and one little thing that I'm going to be talking about later. But today I also talked about how the elements show up in creativity, in relationships, in your self-awareness. And I want to urge you also to come to the workshop and experience this deepened self-awareness, the enhanced creative expression, the emotional empowerment. I am loving doing all of this creative stuff with lots of creative people. We're going to have fun, bring your art supplies. And thank you so much for hanging out with me for this time. And I'm super interested to see what happens. And let's see here. It's gone now. Yeah, Joanna, it is. It's gone. And yes, you have your chart. Awesome. Cool. So yeah, if you don't have your chart, feel free to reach out to me and I can get that to you as well. So that's about it. And big love to you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.